Hello. In this video, we're going to quickly review the order of operations. So you may have learned a few different possible acronyms in order to remember this. So PEMDAS, PEDMAS, BEDMAS, there's a few different ways to look at it. Essentially, the first things that we do, we're generally remembering parentheses or brackets, depending on what you call it. You might have BEDMAS or PEDMAS. These include all the different types of brackets, but also some things that maybe take the place of brackets. So absolute value bars, or if you have a fraction, the line that divides the numerator from the denominator, anything on one side of the line versus the other side of the line, that can sort of act as brackets. Those all get done first. Within brackets, if you have multiple operations, they follow the order of the operations given below. After that, we deal with anything to do with exponents, which would include radicals, as radicals can generally be expressed in exponential form. Then we do multiplication and division, and your acronym might have had M before D or D before M. It really doesn't matter because multiplication and division are two sides of the same coin, so we do them from left to right in order. Because of commutativity, we can be a little flexible with that. And then finally, the very last things we do are the additions and subtractions. Same idea here. Addition and subtraction are really just two sides of the same operation, so they can be done in different orders. So let's look at a few different examples here. So this first one, we have, so I was mentioning a fraction bar can sort of act as bracketing. We deal with the things on one side of the fraction, so in the numerator, separately from in the denominator. And within the numerator, we follow our order of operations, and within the denominator, we follow our order of operations. So starting in the numerator, I start with bracketing, and if I have multiple layers of brackets, as I do here, I start with the interior. So I'm going to start by saying that this numerator, I don't touch the -3, it's outside of the bracket, so I can't deal with it yet. 5 minus 2, and then brackets, 3 plus 1 gives me 4. Anytime I don't have an operation written between a number and brackets, that operation is understood to be multiplication. So that is where that will come in my order of operations. I can also simplify what's inside the brackets in the denominator. So 7 minus 5 minus 9 is -4 squared. Now, focusing on the numerator within these square brackets now, so looking at this section, I have two operations. I have a subtraction and I have a multiplication. So that multiplication has to get done before the subtraction. So that means I now have -3 bracket 5 minus 8. Now you likely would be able to do 5 minus 2 times 4 all in one step in your head. That's fine. I'm going to write out all the steps here. And in the denominator, I have exponents. So this is going to be 7 minus, and then -4 squared is 16. Now I can do the subtraction inside the square bracket. So that is 5 minus 8, which is -3, over 7 minus 16, which is -9. Getting very close there, I'm sure you can see the answer. I am going to do the steps step by step. -3 times -3 is +9 divided by -9 is, finally, I do that last division, -1. So we can see here we did do some multiplications and additions before we did that final division, even though normally additions and subtraction would happen after division. That's because the fraction was essentially acting in the place of brackets. Everything in the numerator is considered to be sort of bracketed together, and everything in the denominator is bracketed together. When you have multiple nesting layers of brackets, you have to be really, really careful to pay attention to what's with what. The absolute interior bracketing right here is 1 minus 3. So 1 minus 3 is -2. That is going to get multiplied with the 7, and then I have 4 plus. Be really careful here not to add the 4 and the 7. And then everything else I'm just going to copy. 2 plus, and then 5. Now I think I have enough brackets. Now my inside, things inside the bracket is right here. So this is 4 plus 7 times -2. This is the part of the order of operations where, even though you know you do multiplication before addition, people get careless as they're rushing. So this is equivalent to 4 plus -14, which I can write as 4 minus 14. So we've got that. Everything else I'm just copying. Now I have my 4 minus 14, which is negative 10. And I have a minus out there. All right. Now the inside brackets are here. This is 12 minus negative 10. So in each case, I'll highlight what it was I was doing. So 12 minus negative 10 is the same as 12 plus 10, so that is 22. So I now have 2 plus 22 inside those brackets. 2 plus 22 is 24. So we've reached our final operation. 5 times 24 is 120. So the ultimate goal here is 120. Now, a lot of calculators, a lot of scientific ones, most of the graphing calculators that you'll be using in high school, if you enter this expression exactly as you see it with the bracketing exactly as you see it, the calculator will respect the proper order of operations and should give you the 120.